to the Emo Hour, your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent, with your hosts, Katie and Nani.
Welcome to the Emo Hour podcast I'm Katie.
And I'm Nani, and this is episode 2.
Episode 2. Thank you so much for joining. We're so excited to be here again.
I know.
And
it's wild to think a week has already gone by.
I know, it is. I mean, it's been quite the week, though.
We've had a very big week.
We have lots to talk about from the last week. But hopefully you listen to episode 1 and you're back for episode 2. And we have lots of fun things to talk about today.
Yeah, which makes me think, Katie, what's making you emo?
Should we just jump into it?
I mean, if you want.
I was just going to say before we jump into it that this is the Emo Hour podcast where we talk about all things emo adjacent, and whatever else we want to. And we are 2 elder emos who share similar but different music tastes.
Similar and different lifestyles.
Similar, different lifestyles, and similar but different perspectives.
True.
How's that? Should that be our new tagline?
Boy, do we have some middle ground.
We have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences.
What a beautiful friendship.
What a beautiful friendship. Okay, will you ask me what's making me emo this week? That's our intro segment, and it's Halloween-mo.
Halloween-mo.
That's
God.
what's making me emo today.
That was
or
so
this week.
fun.
So we're recording, and this is coming out just after Halloween. And on Halloween, we did something called Halloween-mo, which was held at a local tap room called TNT Tap Room here in Ketchum, Idaho, where we live. And we did a round of Halloween-mo trivia and a round of I guess just the saddest hour is what it was called.
So instead of it being the happy hour, the last hour of the night is the sad hour. But on emo, during Halloween, the emo hour girls were hosting trivia. It was Halloween, and we were having a final hour of the night that was like emo dance party. And so instead of it just being the sad hour, we called it the saddest hour.
The saddest hour.
And it was so fun.
It was so fun. And
so
I was
fun.
especially excited about the trivia questions because we agree. I wrote most of the
Katie
trivia
wrote
questions.
most of them, yeah, for sure.
And it was more difficult than I was expecting to find questions that were both Halloween related and emo related. But I think I did pretty good. And you definitely wrote a couple questions as well.
No, you did a great job. And I was just thinking I can find a question real quick just to pose it to people just to see if they know it.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of we were surprised by how there's quite a few people that got a lot of the answers.
Yes. We definitely brought out some elder emos in town, which is great because, again, we live in, Ketchum, Sun Valley, Idaho, where emo music is not necessarily the center of the culture here by any means. But we had some really great trivia questions that went, really well. We had several where every team got it right.
Yeah.
So, and we tried to, we tried to tee some up so they were a little easier and some were more challenging.
Well, yeah, we were making them for the masses, essentially.
Yeah.
It's we were assuming that not everybody there was going to be emo, but we wanted them to be involved.
Right.
So, but oh my God, was this an emo crowd? For real.
Do you have a question example?
Yeah. Should I do the one with the word that I can't pronounce? Or it's so embarrassing. I went to go read the question. I was like, Katie, how do you pronounce this word? I had to ask in front of literally everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, the actress who plays the succubus lead of this 2009 cult classic horror comedy film has been romantically tied to modern-day emo pop-punk singer MGK, also known as Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes.
I ran out of air as I was asking that question.
I was going to say that's a long question, but I think it's a great question because it gives you enough hints.
We're looking for the name of the actress.
We were looking for the name of the movie.
Oh, I mean the movie, not the actress.
Because I think looking for the name of the actress would be just a little too easy. Because
right.
The name of the actress is Megan Fox.
Right.
So it's her character in the movie that we're referencing.
Uh-huh. And the movie is?
And the answer is Jennifer's Body.
Yeah.
Which is very much a cult classic film. Like it was very, I would say like came out underground, didn't have a lot of like traction or popularity, but has kind of built that since 2009 when it came out.
And I've never seen the movie. I've heard about it, obviously.
Well, you don't like scary movies.
Yeah, I don't do scary movies. I've literally never even seen E.T. because it seems like it's scary as a kid, and Bambi, frankly.
Oh my God.
Like, I wasn't able to finish Bambi. I've never finished Bambi.
Okay.
Isn't that embarrassing?
I mean, Bambi is sad.
Yeah.
Certainly. It's very sad.
Right?
E.T., I don't think it's scary.
I don't know what to say. All I can say is, like, I'm a total wuss when it comes to horror or anything scary. So it makes sense that I haven't seen it. Wait, let's do one more question, because I think that I love some of these questions. Okay, this one's really easy to me. Paramore had a chart-topping single in this famous vampire movie saga.
Yes.
You could call it a trilogy, you could call it a saga.
I think we called it trilogy, and one of our guests said, "It's a saga."
It's a saga.
We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a saga. You're right.
I didn't realize this was such a sore subject.
I know, right?
The answer is...
It's Twilight, of course. Yeah. So, that song was so good. And then we played the song, of course. But
yes.
Anyways, that was so much fun. So many people came out. We ended up having a huge dance party.
It was the biggest trivia night that they've had.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
And the normal host definitely said to us, like, there's people here for you. So that was cool too.
Yeah, it felt really good.
Yeah.
And especially in a small town. Like, that's the whole piece of it. It's like, we know if we were in a bigger city, people would come out, but it's just having fewer people around that are into similar things as us.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
And it was Halloween, so there was a group, they won trivia called Emo Kids with Grandma.
With Granny.
Because they had one of the guys was dressed up like a grandma.
To which you immediately said, "Granny, start twerking." And he got up and started twerking.
I wouldn't say it was immediate.
It was pretty immediate.
But yes, I did throw it out there, and he did it.
Yeah,
so,
it was awesome.
You know, you just gotta like plant the idea, and people will do it.
Put yourself out there.
And our good friend Banks was there, and he kept relaying our messages to Grandma, which was hilarious. Like, we would say something to Grandma, or ask Grandma something, and our good friend Banks would just repeat it louder.
He's like, "Granny, they said, start twerking."
So it was great. And
it was
we
so
did
good.
The saddest hour dance party, played
sing
some
along,
great music.
the most epic sing along.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So
it's making me emo too.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Which, this is a great segue. The winners of that Halloween trivia won 2 tickets to emo night in Boise.
Yeah.
So Nani, what's making you emo?
I mean, I feel like you know what I was going to say because you just led on.
We may have talked about this before.
I'm more emo about the fact that you gave away what's making me emo.
Not necessarily.
So we went to emo night in NITE, emo night, like the proper one with the headstone as their logo, in Boise at the Knitting Factory, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about sing-alongs, so many sing-alongs that night.
All night sing-alongs.
Yeah, and it was great. So the folks over at Emo Night sent us a bunch of tickets to give out to people, and so the winners of Halloween Trivia got a set of tickets, and yours truly also went, and a bunch of other people, they won tickets through various channels, because we do have our radio show that we are on Wednesdays still, and so all these people came out and donned their finest black clothing items.
Oh, yes. Everyone was dressed up.
Yep.
Every single person there.
I was in my normal garb of...
You went full goth.
Full goth.
Yeah.
I just love doing goth.
You do.
I love it. And I'd love to be like, no, like I'm just trying. I love it. I love doing it. It just makes me happy.
Well, great.
Because it's so different than who I am on like a regular... I mean, aside from the fact that I'm in all black right now.
Right.
But it makes me so happy.
You do usually dress pretty colorful.
Generally speaking, anytime we have to, like, if there's a challenge to dress up for something in general,
you love it.
I take it as a job.
Yeah.
I will do it, and I will do it to my best ability.
Right. Do you want to talk about what you dressed up for Halloween?
Oh, yeah. I was Jennifer Coolidge for Halloween, and I won 3rd place at the costume contest.
And you crushed it.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
Yes.
But no, emo night was so cool, and we met so many amazing people that night. And so I who knows if any of those people are listening to this podcast, but if we did meet you, it was so awesome meeting you because like it's just like cool meeting people that are also from Idaho. Yes. They love the same kind of music as you, and like everybody was so happy and vibing and having like the best night.
Yeah, everybody had such a good time.
Until I got tired, and then I was ready to go home.
Yes. And then you kept saying, Katie, whenever you want to leave, we can leave. And then 3 minutes later, hey, Katie, it's up to you when we leave. But whatever you decide.
Yeah.
And then 3 minutes later, hey, Katie, if you want to go, we can leave. And I just kept saying, just tell me that you want to go.
I couldn't. I was just trying to leave the decision up to you.
Yeah, clearly you were. So,
oh my God.
So finally, because I was fine. I was still just chilling. I was having a good time.
But I was ready.
Yes, I know that.
And all I wanted to hear was "I Miss You," and that's their closing song, and that wasn't going to happen till like another hour later.
Yeah,
and I couldn't wait.
We weren't. No, none of us.
I'll go home.
We weren't doing that.
I'll go home and play "I Miss You" and sing it as I fall asleep.
We should have done that.
We should have done that.
That would have been nice.
Oh, you made me cry.
Well, I have another bone to pick with you from emo night too. That the people need to know about.
No. What is it?
When I bought one of the last round of drinks, we were drinking vodka sodas, and I brought them to you, and you didn't really want it. That's fine. But what you did was what's it called? True lime?
True lime. It's
powdered lime,
essentially.
Like dehydrated
it's
lime.
It's dehydrated lime.
Whatever. And you opened this little packet of dehydrated lime and poured like half of it into my drink.
No, I poured all of it because I thought you would like it.
Yeah, but you didn't ask.
I was like, this makes it so much better. That's what I do, though. I do it out of love, but I realize that sometimes it's not wanted.
No.
Okay, but then
wanted.
This is the worst part, though.
Yes.
You go ahead and tell them, because I have a different recollection of how this went down.
Oh, yeah, actually, I'd love to hear it. Because I was standing there holding two, ice cold vodka soda drinks, and the one I had already drank out of is what you dumped the whole True Lime into. And you're like, it's good. And I was like, I didn't ask for this. I don't want this. Like, I'm great with what it is. I took a sip and I said, I don't like it. And your reaction was to dump your half-drank vodka soda into mine to water it down, and then open a new container of True Lime and pour it in the fresh drink that I was going to give to you, effectively ruining both drinks. For me, at least.
I'm dying.
As I'm screaming, no! 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 I mean, granted, I could have moved.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't, maybe I wasn't thinking
You were standing in cement. It's fine.
I wasn't thinking the most clearly because I could have moved away. But instead, I just was holding these two drinks, watching you ruin them both.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Okay, so to be fair, I did think that I thought I was so fixated on that one drink being mine. So that's why I put the True Lime in it. Because I thought I had already fixed yours by watering it down with my old drink. Oh my God. I mean,
and it makes it even.
Hindsight is 20/20, but boy, oh boy, is that just it's special.
It was special, yeah, and I was special too because I could have moved, but but there was also a lot going on.
Oh.
You were dumping a lot of things into the drinks, and I was just like, I just was like, no.
I was just trying to condense.
No.
I was trying to condense.
And then somehow
this is the second time you've made me cry today.
I still.
Or right now. I
mean, I was like,
with laughter.
Did something else.
With laughter. No, not real crying. Laugh crying.
Good.
Which is also real crying.
Somehow I ended up drinking the first drink.
They both were the same at that point. Well, one was watered down with my
yeah, one absolutely had your backwash in it, and that's what I ended up drinking. And it makes it better or worse, I don't know, that you don't like sharing drinks, really. And then you're dumping your half-drank drink into mine.
Oh my God, I'm dying. This is so good.
So, you're welcome. Surprise for bringing that up.
Also, That's just what friendship is. Thanks for putting up with me.
Well, yeah, and I wasn't thinking the most clearly either, because I ended up drinking that one instead of like, I should have been like, you're drinking this now. I'll at least take the other fresh drink. Yes, it has that true lime stuff in it that I don't really enjoy, but it would be mine.
Oh my God, I'm
and
dying.
Not half of yours. So
we're always gonna have that.
We're always gonna have that.
That is a core memory right there.
I mean, it was something else. Yeah.
So good.
But I think we should give shout outs. We met comedian Austin Von Johnson. Austin Von Johnson. Who's in Boise, and actor, comedian. He might be a guest on an upcoming episode. And then I think
he does a lot of emo, specifically emo comedy, which like
yes.
he had so much energy.
Oh my gosh.
He literally himself is a vibe.
Yes.
It's so good.
And I hope he listens to this, and I hope he's not offended, but I did speak with him, and I said, we were just watching you, fascinated and wondering like what drugs you were on. And he basically responded, well, I do have ADHD.
Oh my God.
No,
like, it's like he was a wind-up bunny. He just had more energy than any of us combined.
Yeah.
And I was just like in awe because he was so amazing.
He was so good.
So amazing.
And he just kept going.
And he knew every single word.
Yes.
Which like made me feel like such a poser because I know emo music very well.
Yeah.
I know you do too.
Right.
But he was like an actual, like it was like he was preloaded the songs.
I know. He did take a couple breaks during songs that he didn't really know.
He's not allowed to break. How dare he?
So I think there were some songs, but I don't know. Maybe I take that back, because when I saw him and I went up and talked to him, he was just like pacing in the audience by the bar, drinking water and still singing along.
He knew all the words, dude. He knows all the words.
He knew every single song. And then another guy, I can't remember his name right now. Robert?
Robert. I think it's Robert. Bobby.
Robert he had a ton of energy too.
Oh my God, epic. He was literally the front man of a band.
Yeah.
Like, not even joking.
And then,
he should have been at Vans Warped Tour, like, standing in front of, like, 5 dudes all in black.
Right. Yeah. He was great. I mean, there were several people.
Lead singer energy.
But those two were just, like, the best hype men.
Oh, they had us, like, they had our full attention.
Yes.
We were just obsessed with them the whole night. It was so good.
And we did get on stage, too.
Yeah, we did.
That wasn't as good.
It
wasn't as mesmerizing.
I mean, yeah, because it's us. Like, we're the ones that are up there. But, like, from because we wanted to be in the crowd dancing with everybody, like, having the most fun time. And so as we're there, just like watching these two, they were just so good.
They were so good.
They were so good.
And shout out to the DJs, Rain and Isis, I think are their names.
Yeah.
So we had a great time.
Yeah.
At Emo Night.
It was really fun.
So thanks to Emo Night for collaborating with us, and Knitting Factory also in Boise. Knit Boise for collaborating.
Yeah, the city of Boise. Thank you for collaborating with us.
The whole
city
of Boise.
We had a great time in general too. Like we love going over to Boise and having kind of a little bit of the city energy. And we went to a bunch of bars and new cocktail lounges and
had some great food.
Yep, it was really fun.
It was.
Had a great time.
Did some shopping.
We sure did.
We can't do the same kind of shopping where we live, so we were very productive.
Look at us go.
Yeah. Any other Emo Night stories, or?
No, I don't think so. I was going to say, like, I feel like we should get into this week's episode topic at hand.
Yeah.
Which is...
When We Were Young Festival.
It only felt right because, like, we did Vans Warped Tour, which, you know, the return of Vans Warped Tour is just so iconic and such an important thing to, like, emo culture, I would say. But also, like, When We Were Young, they've been doing some crazy stuff these last, handful of years.
Yeah. So we learned, actually, while we were working on Halloween trivia, that the first When We Were Young festival was in 2017 in California, in April, I think. It was in the springtime.
I don't remember that, but it was 2017.
And Morrissey was the headliner. It was definitely a lot of, like, emo and indie bands. AFI was also there in 2017.
It felt less emo to me. It felt more like alternative to me.
That's fair. And indie, too.
Yeah.
I think quite a bit of indie artists. It appears to me, and I'm not an expert, that there was not another When We Were Young festival until 2022.
When they moved it to Vegas.
When it premiered in Vegas. And
they did it right.
The killer lineup. Yeah, like massive lineup. They announced it, and it was just like, oh my God. Like, I remember seeing the lineup in or whenever they announced
It's
it.
literally all we could talk about. Like,
Yeah.
anybody could talk about, because it
Yeah.
was just like, this is a dream, right?
Yeah.
This isn't,
Yeah.
that's not
I
real.
was like, this is fake.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
not
there's so
really
many things that
happening.
are fake on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
there's fake lineups. I mean, there's fake lineups about Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah.
They haven't even announced anything.
Right. True.
At this point, at least. And so it's just so funny that, like, what we thought was totally, it was real.
Yeah.
And it happened. Well, kind of.
And it sold out so fast.
Yeah.
And I remember I signed up for text to get like pre-sale notifications, and it was like, okay, pre-sale starting now. And I feel like that same day, it had to have been the same day. I mean, this was a couple years ago, but it had to have been the same day where it was like pre-sale was starting, and then it was like day 2 added.
Yeah.
Because overwhelming demand.
Huge demand.
Then maybe the same day, maybe the next day, day 3 added.
Yeah.
And it was like, were you guys planning on just doing 3 days to start?
Yes. Yeah. No question. I mean, in the same way that, like, currently the lineup that they have announced, it sold out the first day. I mean, I'm
Yes.
getting ahead of myself a little bit. Of course they're going to do
Yeah.
multiple days.
There's
Like, they're
currently
contracted.
There's a wait list for day 2
Yeah.
currently, but they haven't, as of recording, which I feel like that'll change soon, but as of recording right now, it's only a day 1 festival, or 1 day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No question, there's another day.
At least one more.
This is just fake. This is
Yeah.
a fake wait list.
But 2022, as all the elder emos will remember,
Epic.
first day of the festival was
High winds.
canceled because of winds.
High winds.
Which, can you imagine?
No.
Like the disappointment
Oh my God.
that all of those
People were
ticket holders were feeling.
so sad. People were
Yeah.
so sad. But in traditional, like, pop punk fashion,
Yeah.
they did a bunch of sideshows.
Yeah,
They,
turned into
like,
a really cool event, I think.
and I think that,
Or like several mini events.
and if you were in the know, and if you like were doing things, I think that, like, it would have been pretty special to be there, because it
Mm-hmm.
was, these sideshows that ended up being huge. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like there was stuff happening in Old Vegas. Like, what do they call that area? I always forget.
Fremont?
Yeah, Fremont.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was just people, like, just putting things together punk rock style, left and
Yeah.
right, like figuring out a space, a venue to throw something, because literally everybody was there.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't let people go in because it was
Right.
a hazard.
Yeah.
And, like, to be fair, I said, like, Vegas kind of is a big wind tunnel. Like, it's, between mountain ranges, and it's super flat.
Yeah.
And so I think that stuff happens there a little bit more frequently than we realize. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then day 2 and day 3 happened and like went pretty well.
Yeah.
I think. And that was in 2022. Then they did 2023 festival, and then 2024 just happened, and now they're gonna do 2025.
Yeah. Which
So-
is crazy because, well, we should talk about last year, which last year's festival happened like a few weeks ago.
Okay, you mean 2024?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was so much drama around that specific festival.
Yes.
Or that specific year.
Right.
I mean, All American Rejects is the first thing that it makes me think of, because
Yeah.
they pulled out so last second.
Yes.
Because I would say we could call it creative differences, but essentially, like, I think Tyson Ritter was like, we didn't agree to play this one specific record. They wanted
Yeah.
to play a medley of their hits, essentially.
Yeah. And let back up just a little bit. Pretty much all the bands on the ticket were playing a record from front to back.
Right.
On this year's festival, the 2024 festival.
Yeah.
Except for Fall Out Boy.
Well, you're a headliner. You can do whatever you want.
I guess.
Headliners are just treated differently.
Yeah. I mean, All American Rejects, though, I don't know what their time slot was.
It was
But,
It was later, but it wasn't like they weren't a headliner.
yeah.
It was later in the day, though. They weren't playing at noon. They were probably playing at like 6
Okay.
or like 5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was the week of they pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were replaced with Boys Like Girls.
Boys Like Girls, which, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love them so much.
Yeah, that's great.
And, I
Surprised
think...
they weren't on the ticket to begin with,
Well, and it's kind of cool because they're actually on the ticket for next year's.
Oh.
And so they're like probably one of the only bands that's playing back-to-back years.
Right.
But did you see what Boys Like Girls did?
I did.
Yeah, it's so epic. They came out to an All-American Rejects song on stage.
Yes. I
Like,
think it was Dirty Little Secret.
yeah, Dirty Little Secret, which is just, so epic. It's like an ode to them, but it's
Yeah.
also like, come on, brah. It's so good.
No, I thought that was
I
pretty
love that
cool.
play. That was, I think that's really funny.
No, I think it was great too.
And I have to say, Martin Johnson, the lead singer of Boys Like Girls, He has such an amazing voice. One of the best voices in the scene, if we want to call it that. He's super talented. I love his voice. He dated Taylor Swift. I feel like we have so many references to Taylor Swift and her being an elder emo. Like, we will have to have an episode on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we said that during episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess to be neither of us are extreme Swifties by any means.
No.
But
I did see her, though, on this Eras tour.
But she's a great artist. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will have to talk about that.
But Martin was a big lover of Bank clothing too, the clothing line that I had in college with my friend Sophia.
Right.
And so we got to know him really well, and I have deep respect for Martin. He is a very creative guy. He knows what he wants. He is like he treats his body kind of like a temple, like his voice. A lot of people didn't treat their voice well, and they didn't learn how to sing properly, and they didn't take care of it over the course of years.
Oh, like Adam Lazzara?
Yeah, and here we are, like 20 years later, right? And 15 years later, however long you want to say it, and people like Martin still sound as angelic as 2002.
Yeah.
It's just like, or I shouldn't say 2005. Maybe it was later than that. I don't remember when that record came out. But
Whatever.
the point is that like I have deep respect for him. And it's so funny too. I don't know if anybody follows him on TikTok or anywhere on social media, but he was showing his pre-show ritual now instead of it like being like back in the day on Warped Tour. Now he's like taking a 30-mile bike ride or like, doing some sort of like exercise. It's just, it's funny to see the difference between then and now.
Right.
But he's also a dad now too.
Oh,
yeah.
Dads.
Yeah.
Have you seen videos of Taking Back Sunday though when we were young?
Yeah.
Which is such not a new thing, at least like if you're in the know. Adam Lazzara from Taking Back Sunday.
I love Taking Back Sunday. Like
Yeah.
that's where we should start.
One of my top 5 faves, like from back in the day to now.
Their
So
recorded music will
So
live on in infamy forever.
Yes.
The issue is that they no longer sound like their recorded music.
Like not even close.
No, and he's you could tell he's just really trying to get those notes out and really trying to sing them.
Yeah.
But damn, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But he's just about vibes. He's not about voice.
He is, and he still has his microphone tricks. He still can do all the things.
He still is like very weird on stage.
But you know who has microphone tricks and can hit the notes and has an amazing voice?
I don't know.
Anthony Green.
Mm-hmm. Yes. From
Circus Survive.
Thank you.
Or Seocean. Or LS Dunes. I mean, there's so many. Or his solo project. Why do I know so much about him? Because I worked with him for a long time.
And he's a great singer.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about OG, like, emo kings, he's one of them.
Yes, definitely. And I think we already said on the first episode that you have an idea that Anthony Green could be the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday.
Okay, so the reason why, this idea stems actually from, and I think I might have said it, I can't remember, but Bonnaroo did this, like, emo...
Yes.
Like, they put together all these artists, and it was like Kevin from Cartel was drumming, and Anthony was on Vox, and all these, like, it was just all these people. It was super group.
What does Vox mean?
Vocals?
Yeah, I know.
And, sorry. And,
I'm just trying to explain things.
And, I'm getting so excited. And so Bonnaroo did this epic, like, super group thing, and it was so good, and I know that they did a Taking Back Sunday song, and Anthony was on vocals. Mm-hmm. And it literally was so good. I'm like, oh my God, this actually should be a thing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, maybe put it in the ether. Maybe it'll happen.
You never know.
Maybe it'll happen.
That would be epic.
We love Adam, and if you're performing and probably partying for, 20 years, things are going to happen.
It's going to take its toll.
It's going to take its toll.
Eventually.
He still is putting out the energy, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you can't fault him there. So wait, what were some of the records that people played? Like, do you know off the top of your head? Like, Under Oath was there, and they probably did Only Chasing Safety, right?
Yes. And, I mean, Under Oath is a shared love, I think.
Yeah, you and I
ours.
both.
Yeah.
That's
I do. I love Under Oath.
The Only Chasing Safety is the Oxygen Mask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that record.
Most of the records are most of the records that were played at When We Were Young, I think, came out in, like, 04, 05.
The, like, prime
06.
time.
Prime time for us.
For us.
At least.
Again, as I would say for Uncle Bobby, or as he references them, the early aughts.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We need to explain things a little bit better, probably as it relates to emo music, for people like Uncle Bobby.
We do.
Yeah.
That's why I said, what are Vox?
Oh, thank you.
That's why.
That's for you, Uncle Bobby.
Let's try to, yeah, maybe we could just, every time we need to explain something, it's for Uncle Bobby.
For Uncle Bobby.
There you go.
Or Uncle Leo. But Uncle Bobby.
All right. Either or. The Starting Line played Say It Like You Mean It.
Ooh.
I love The Starting Line, and that album was so, like, on repeat for me.
Yeah. When they're an East Coast band. I never got into them until later when I was in college, and Sophia, who I had the clothing company with, her boyfriend at the time loved The Starting Line. And then that record, they would have come out with it in like 2007 or 6, probably 7. Oh gosh, Island, the record Island.
Should we look it up?
I think it is. I think it's called Island. That was the record that made me a fan of The Starting Line.
You love that song, Island.
Oh my God, it's so good. Maybe I can't remember if that's the name of the actual record. I know you're looking it up, so I appreciate it. But that changed everything for me. It's kind of interesting because musical taste is just kind of like a fingerprint or like a taste bud. Like everybody's are so different.
That came out in 2007.
7, look at that memory. And that, like, once I heard that record, we were in a car on a road trip, and I was like, wait, what are we listening to right now? This is like the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And since then, huge fan.
And Say It Like You Mean It that they played at When We Were Young came out in 2002.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then after that, they released Based on a True Story in 2005. I loved that album as well. And then Direction was in 2007, which has the song Island on it.
Direction, that's the name of it.
Which was not, I didn't listen to that one as much. Like the first 2 albums were definitely more of what I listened to.
Okay.
For The Starting Line.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a 2007 and later type girly, but I do know some of the earlier stuff. But again, this is like where we have like such an interesting crossover because you're like, I feel like we meet like so perfectly, and it's like we're 2 pieces of a puzzle.
Oh my God.
And we just fit together.
That's why we made a podcast.
Yeah.
And a radio show.
Yeah, who else? It was Under Oath did that, Starting Line. Ooh, Emery did The Week's End. And that's the one that I know both of us are very sad that we did not see.
Yeah.
Because during COVID, we like did their live stream. Remember that? Wasn't that during COVID?
You were with me?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember watching that because, during COVID, several bands were doing like live stream concerts.
But that was the one that both of us were like, we gotta see this.
Yeah, and I remember watching that. Did you come over to my place?
Maybe, or maybe we watched it independently. I can't remember, but I know I watched it, and I know you watched it.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good.
I want to see them live.
It was like it seemed like a dark, smoky bar. It was just like fog and stuff, But
they were like in somebody's basement.
Yeah, but it was like so good. That's probably online somewhere. I feel like I should watch it again.
Yeah.
Because that was 4 years ago that we watched that. I forgot about it until this moment.
Oh, really?
So thanks for bringing that
Yeah,
up.
no, it's so good.
But I remember just like the camera angles and just like how dark, it just was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made it an experience even though we were watching it on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that has to be on their YouTube.
Yeah.
Now I might watch it tonight.
Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Thanks for reminding me.
Instead of YouTube Roulette, which we'll have to tell people about YouTube Roulette one of these days.
Oh my gosh.
It's my favorite game.
Yes,
with
definitely a future episode just has to be about music videos.
Oh, absolutely.
I fully believe, and you agree, music videos are such a lost art, but there's still some great ones coming out.
Very much so.
I don't think that they're consumed nearly as much as
like they used to be. There's no MTV.
Or that they should be.
Yeah.
And there's just so many good ones.
Yeah. So wait, I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about when we were young.
Sure.
Do you care?
No, go right on ahead.
I
I was just trying to think if there's any other albums that were played front to back, but those are definitely like some of the highlights that I would have liked to see.
Same.
The headliners were My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy, and they played whatever they wanted to. And you were gonna, go ahead. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, it's interesting. So because I did some research around it and around the specific event, and I was served all sorts of different stuff on TikTok because neither of us actually went this past year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we'll go next year. I don't know. We'll see.
We didn't buy tickets for day one.
No, no.
Let's sign up for day 2. We
Okay.
should do that.
All right, we'll
join
see.
the wait list.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then so they put in artificial turf because it's in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And so parking lot blacktop does not sound exciting whatsoever.
Right.
And in the middle of the heat, like it just sounds awful. And so the artificial turf, I think, was super smart because I think it probably helped everything and made it just a little bit more bearable.
A little cooler, little more cushion for the feet.
For the feet,
all
for our
elder
knees,
emos.
for our hips, for our backs.
Who are standing all day long,
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of places to sit.
Yeah, excuse me, that was the weirdest cough I've ever had.
Okay.
But no, they did that. They also did some cool, like, kind of, they took things that you would normally have to have, like a sunshade, and underneath it they hung like these really cool black umbrellas. I produce events for a living, so like the types of things that I'm looking at are just kind of seeing like what they did. I thought they got creative with it. Love the arc that they made for When We Were Young is so iconic, and I know we talked about it for Vans Warped Tour. I really hope that they do something iconic, like a photo op. What else was I going to say here? The size of the Pierce the Veil crowd was insane because they technically were like headliners too. They played like right before either Fall Out Boy or My Chem. Oh, there was a lot. You want to go ahead?
Well, did you have more to say about the crowd size?
It was just enormous.
Yeah.
Enormous.
I
I would say that they're probably like the modern day, like one of the largest current like modern day artists in the emo world.
Yeah.
Like,
and they just finished their tour with Blink-182.
Yeah.
With the One More Time tour.
Which they're managed by the same guy, so that also helps.
But that's a big tour. Like, that's a big name to get on the ticket with.
Yeah.
I never really got into Pierce the Veil.
Oh,
honestly.
I love his voice. What's his name? Vinny? I can't remember.
I couldn't tell you. But what I know about Pierce the Veil and When We Were Young, and I don't know which day it was, but they have, what is it called? Like rotating stages.
I don't remember how they do it. They did last time they had rotating stages. They would just flip 180 degrees.
Yeah.
And so you could do a full setup in front, and then it turns, and then next band.
Well, however, maybe it was that, maybe it was something similar, but basically they were just trying to reduce the amount of like changeover time, right? Yep. So it's like, however they had it set up, I don't know the logistics, but it would go from one band to the next, like as quickly as possible. So what I saw was that the used got cut off, and it seems like there's kind of some mixed messages about what was going on. But they were playing like one of their most iconic songs.
I think it was probably the last song of their set, and they were running late.
Yeah.
Or I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, I saw that too.
But the mics got cut.
Yeah.
And Pierce the Veil started after that. But it's like, I mean, I don't know who's at fault here. You know, if you were running late and you were aware and you're just like, we're still going to play what we're going to play. I don't know if it was the festival's fault. I don't know if there was not enough like time built in. But cutting off the use like during one of their most iconic songs.
Well, and the crowd just kept singing.
Yeah.
Which is so epic. But so when I think of that, I think of like, they should have I don't know, maybe it was like another song. Or not another like minute or another 2 minutes or whatever. It's too bad. I don't know all the details at play here. So this is me making assumptions from afar. But it's too bad they couldn't have taken that extra 2 minutes, let them play late. I do realize that it went into the next person's time slot, but shit happens, right?
Yeah.
And, but I don't know, like it could have just been the use. Is it Bert? Is Bert the singer? Yeah, Bert. And
which, that's a great name.
What a name.
Bert McCracken.
It sounds like it should be on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And so, like, I wish they would have done those extra 2 minutes for them just to finish the song and for, like, the fans to get what they want. And then Pierce the Veil would have started, like, 2 minutes late, right?
Yeah.
They would have ended a couple minutes late. And I can't imagine that they went right up against the sound ordinance at the end. So, like, after Pierce the Veil would have been, I don't know, Fall Out Boy or My Chem, whoever.
Yeah.
And so they probably put in some buffer for the headliners to kind of, like, have some extra time. But they shouldn't be going right up against the sound ordinance, because once you hit sound ordinance, then you're paying, like, crazy huge fines.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a bummer for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of things that happened during.
Well, did you see videos of it? Bert, like, you could tell he was like frustrated, kind of on the stage, and then he just like threw the microphone into the crowd.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Well, we all deal with things in our own way, don't we? Oh yeah, Wiz Khalifa came out for Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah.
There were so many special guests that happened throughout.
Yeah. When Pete Wentz, I think, was like popped on with a couple other bands too.
Not Pete Wentz. You're talking about
Patrick Stump.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank
yeah.
you.
Patrick Stump popped out a couple times. Wiz Khalifa, I thought, was just like hilarious because they did do that tour together.
Which tour?
I can't remember, and they have a song together too. But
okay, yeah.
I'm blanking on what it is. And then who else? What were some of the other special guests? There were so many special guests. Patrick Stump, I felt like, was just popping up left and right though.
Yeah, which is great.
I
love that.
Like, it's pretty epic. I feel like he's just down to clown.
Yeah.
And I respect that so much.
Right.
Because, like, that is the general vibe of emo music, is it's still punk rock, right? It's like, we're in it together.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, maybe not on the podcast, but on the radio show. It's like, the thing that's so beautiful about emo music is that everybody was lifting each other up, like, as a culture.
Yeah.
It was like bands were supporting bands, and it's been a while since there's been this type of culture that was supporting each other, and everybody was rising up together.
Right.
It wasn't like this dog eat dog. It was like the whole, it just was such a collaborative environment.
Right.
Maybe I'm getting like a little mushy gushy here, but
No,
like,
it's great.
I think it's just it was such a cool time to be in the thick of it. And it's really cool that it's having this huge resurgence right now because I don't know. I love it. You know that.
It's great.
Oh, the Maine, I thought they dressed really nicely. They were dressed in all white, and then My Chemical Romance was wearing all black, and then they were up against their production I really loved. They were wearing all black, and behind them were like these huge white, for lack of terms, like sheets, and they did all this projection on the sheets. So like the stage could be like total like blood red, or it could be like bright blue, or it was very, very simple production, like in the sense of it being just these sheets, but there was so many things that you could do with it because it was all like video imaging and projection. So I thought that was cool.
That is cool.
You know the video that I saw that I was just taken back by?
Which one?
Simple Plan. You want to know why?
What?
His voice sounds so good.
He does sound great.
Like, it's amazing. Back to the whole thing about Martin Johnson,
Yeah.
the lead singer of Boys Like Girls.
Yeah.
Pierre, right? Isn't that his name?
Pierre Bouvet or something? I don't know. I probably shouldn't even try to pronounce it because I don't know.
We're not French. And his voice, again, just as angelic as 2005.
Yeah, he sounds great.
What in the heck? It was so good.
And they've been crushing it on social media too. Like, just keeping up with all the trends. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of their social media stuff, but I just feel like they're putting out some really good, like, fun content and relatable content, and it's great to see. But yeah, I agree. Like, he sounds so good, and they brought up, they're very associated with Scooby-Doo, which I also learned that doing some research for Halloween trivia. They did the theme song for one of the movies, and then they have recorded What's New Scooby-Doo. It's like a minute-long song that you can find on Spotify that they played at When We Were Young, and brought up a bunch of people dressed in, like 5 guys or something, dressed in like Scooby-Doo onesies.
Oh my God.
To run around on stage.
I did not see that, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. And they've been like featured in one of the episodes for the show. Like, they're just very associated with Scooby-Doo. Who knew?
Not me.
I didn't know that.
But we both now know.
Now we know. But yeah, they sounded great, and their content is pretty funny. I'll have to send you some of their videos that they're posting, because they're doing good.
You know,
and they just have always seemed like a solid group.
I feel like
solid people.
They're Canadian, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the epitome of like nice Canadians.
Yeah.
In the form of a band.
Yeah, they are.
It's just awesome.
They just toured with Avril Lavigne.
Oh yeah, also Canadian.
Also Canadian, yeah.
Canadian pop punk princess.
Yes.
She likes
Queen.
to rock. Wait, what's that?
Queen. Canadian
She's a queen.
She's a queen.
She's a queen.
Yeah.
For sure.
What were you
She
gonna say?
deserves that title.
Yeah.
Oh, she likes to rock out. Wait, what's that like old video meme?
It's like an interview clip of her from
When she was like 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say when she was just coming out, like she's still wearing the tie with the wife beater, and I don't know. It's like a 10-second clip, but it's one of my favorite because the interviewer must have asked her something about how she associates with like punk as an identity or whatever, and her response is like, I like to rock out. I like to break stuff. I like to throw things. I like to rage. It's punk rock.
Punk rock.
And it's just so good.
You know what I was thinking? The other special guests that were at When We Were Young, I think he was there this year. Matt Cutshall.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Ugh.
He absolutely was. He got on stage a couple times, maybe for Boys Like Girls.
I think that sounds right.
And
I remember
Senses
seeing that.
Fail.
Yeah.
And this must be a thing that I'm not aware of, but I know I saw on social media he has like this naked cowboy.
Oh, yeah. He does.
Or like shirtless cowboy.
He like humps the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And they like piggyback on each other, and it's like very homoerotic. And I'm
here. He is just such a great performer.
Yeah. But this shirtless cowboy was just like following him around everywhere. And like
Stop.
in his like Instagram stories, it would be selfies of him talking, and then it's just like shirtless cowboys a few feet behind him.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go watch. I did not get served any of that on social media. I need to go watch that.
Yeah, I look at his Instagram.
I know that
I'm sure
I would
it's
love
there. And he like crowd surfed in some like big inflatable floaty because he does the Emo's Not Dead cruise. So I think he was like promoting.
Oh, that's why
cruise.
That's why that big shark attack happened.
Yeah.
There was like a boat and a bunch of sharks and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But he like crowd surfed on a floaty, which seems challenging. Maybe I don't know.
Easier than just going.
Yeah.
Easier than just going like as a human.
Probably.
A lot less grabbing too.
Yeah. That's true.
Grabbing in weird places.
And I think he got on stage with Senses Fail. The singer of Senses Fail too. He was sounding a little weird.
Was it a little rough?
A little rough.
Yeah.
But again,
you know who you loved? Chiodos.
Yeah.
Craig Owens.
I think we talked about that last episode too. Because I watched a clip and he just sounded so good and it gave me chills.
I love that though. Like when I just keep coming back to this idea of like, here we are so many years later, not all artists age the same way.
Yeah.
And it's so cool when you hear them and they still sound amazing.
Yeah. And Buddy from Senses Fail, like he didn't sound the best, but he put on a great show. And I love his content too that he puts out online.
He's like a dad.
He's a dad, and it's very much just like relatable dad stuff. And I'm a mom, so it's weird now being like Senses Fail. I was very into, and I'm pretty sure I saw them at Warped Tour actually, which I didn't even talk about last episode.
We just touched the iceberg, tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
There.
Well, and it's also just hard to remember everything from that long ago.
The more you talk about it, the more you remember too.
Exactly. But it's just weird that like Buddy and I are in like similar stages in life, and I can relate to him on that level. And I also love his music.
Yeah.
You're
like, Buddy, you and I.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Did you have any other like production comments?
No. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that there was misprints, right? Like the map that they made, like the color coding of the map.
Oh, I did hear about
was
that.
like off, and
Yeah.
I look at all that stuff, right?
Right.
And then I immediately get judgmental, and I'm like, how did they miss that?
Yeah.
Or critical, maybe not judgmental. I immediately am critical. I'm like, how did they miss that? Because we're human and we miss things.
Yeah.
But how did they miss the biggest thing? Or are we just being played?
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, what is this thing?
What is this thing? Do you want me to?
Yeah.
So on When We Were Young merch, like came directly from like the festival organizers.
The official festival merchandise.
The official festival merchandise had many mistakes for band names.
Specifically spelling of band names.
Spellings or just messing up the name too. And from what I was gathering, there's many different items of merchandise, so there was different errors on different things.
Right.
So I don't want to talk about like every single one.
But just like as a generalization, there was a lot of merchandise items from the official provider of the merchandise for the festival with insane spelling errors. Like new and glory.
Yeah, instead of newfound glory.
Yeah.
Like that. What?
It's just, it's so, like, they're so blatant that I'm like, are we being played?
Right.
Was this just like a play for the festival to like create these like items that you could never receive again because they had all of these misspellings?
But I feel like that's a bad call.
I know.
Like,
I agree.
If
Because like
if that were intentional.
right, Anne Berlin was like Am Berlin.
Yes.
So it was like
AM instead of AN.
yeah.
And All American Rejects, which ended up canceling, but late enough that their name was on the merch.
Oh,
but,
that makes sense though.
Oh yeah, which totally does. But their name was wrong. It was All Immersian instead of American.
Stop.
All Immersian.
I didn't
like
see
the
that.
The I was in the wrong place.
Oh my god.
So All Immersian Rejects.
Yeah.
Like that's a misspelling. Like,
Yeah.
The new and glory
Brutal.
is just wrong. And
Just
then
wrong.
Armor for Sleep was Amor for Sleep.
Amor. Yep.
Amor, like love.
Yep.
Which
Love for sleep.
Armor and Amor,
They're similar-ish. But, you know, spell check.
yeah.
Hold on. Did AI make these shirts? Maybe AI did all the shirts.
Well, for like misspellings, I think that makes more sense. Like All Immersian.
Yeah.
But how is that not caught? Like
That's why I keep going back. Like, are we being played?
With spell check. Or, sleeping with sirens. Sirens was misspelled. There was too many I's in the word sirens.
Oh, so it's like Syrians?
Yeah, Syrians. And then We Are the In Crowd is the proper name of the band. But the merch said We Are in the Crowd. So
I didn't see that one either.
That's just some of them.
I know.
Like there were other ones.
There were so
the
many.
The band Movements was spelled wrong.
Movements was. I think LS Dunes also had a misspelling somewhere too.
Like that's so many.
It's so many.
And I mean, you have more knowledge than I do about this, but those things have to go through. So many eyes have to be on those
In
before
theory.
they're approved.
In
right?
theory, yeah.
In theory. Which, yeah, maybe it was all intentional, but that just feels like a bad idea.
I know, but to be fair, there was one band that really took this as an opportunity to do something hilarious and awesome.
New and Glory.
New and Glory, aka Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
They like did their own special
shirt.
Yeah, like merch. And then they, instead of it being When We Were Young, which is WWWY,
Yeah.
they did WWYW.
Yes.
Which, like...
With New and Glory on the top, and then, WWYW 2024.
Yeah.
Which is great, and it sold out.
Of course it did.
It was like a limited run, sold out so fast.
Epically hilarious.
Maybe they'll do another round, I don't know.
It's probably too late, but, like, it's so funny to me.
Yeah, like, you have to capitalize on that.
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
So wild. You know what I realized at the top of the show? We didn't explain what When We Were Young is to Uncle Bobby.
Oh, Uncle Bobby.
I know. Uncle Bobby has no idea what it is, but that's okay.
I mean, we kind of did.
It's just a big festival in Vegas and on a tarmac.
Yeah.
With a bunch of bands that, you know, were from our glory days.
We said all that.
The only thing is, do you feel like they added enough new musicians? Like modern day musicians in the scene?
I mean, the lineup...
Because it feels very, like...
was so huge.
It was so huge.
Yeah.
It still felt like it felt very... And maybe they really leaned into it this way this year because people were playing records that were like their, you know, records of a certain era, of a certain time frame. But it felt more like nostalgia.
It's definitely a nostalgia fest.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I love about Warped Tour, is that it's nostalgia with new.
yeah.
N.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
I
We'll
guess.
find out.
We got to wait and see.
Wait and see.
Was that showing like a lack of trust in things? I was like, we'll wait and see.
We'll wait
Even
and
though
see.
Kevin Lyman, I think, has outright said like they're going to do a mix of new and legacy and new artists.
Yeah. I love it.
Any other comments about this year? Should we talk about next year's lineup?
Yeah, I mean, no, not really. I think that, you know, generally, like, as an event, it's pretty sweet. Like, the amount of people there, it's like 85,000 people. Like, that's their sellout numbers. I think 85,000 for the grounds, which is so many people. And, like, I don't really want to be around that many people.
I know.
And it's in a small area. So, like, getting from stage to stage, getting around, thinking about even getting a bottle of water or, like, noodles or something. Emily's husband owns Island Noodles, and they set
yeah.
up, and so they do When We Were Young.
Right, I knew that.
Yeah, so it's just, that's why I use noodles. That's just my immediate thought. But, it sounds like a lot of people and a lot of heat and a lot of standing, and I think I'd have to do it in a much cushier way than just getting a GA ticket, is all I have to say.
Well, okay.
Okay,
Miss Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay. Yeah.
That was great.
You make me want a hot dog real bad.
That was really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
you were on the fly.
You had lots of practice.
I did
on
some
Halloween.
I had some practice.
So in what has become typical When We Were Young fashion, like shortly after the festival ends, they announce the next year's lineup and announce like tickets are on sale very soon.
Yeah.
So there's again these. I mean, the lineups are just massive.
It's a stacked lineup.
The headliners are Blink-182.
Katie's favorite.
My all-time fave, who we've been lucky enough to see together both this summer and last summer. And Panic at the Disco, which Panic at the Disco is performing A Fever You Can't Sweat Out in its entirety.
Which is their first record.
Which is their first record with Brendan Urie and Ryan Ross.
Well, it was the full lineup of the full band, which now that band is completely dismantled, and the only one left standing is Brendan Urie.
Right.
Which is, leaves me with some questions.
It leaves a lot of people with a lot of questions.
Right? And I would say, so they're a Las Vegas band. The thing I think, a really impactful, The Killers came out of Las Vegas. Panic at the Disco came out of Las Vegas. There's another band called The Hire. I think they came out of Las Vegas. They're also so good. If you haven't listened to The Hire, please go listen to them. So I think the question on everybody's mind is is Ryan Ross going to be there to play with Panic? Because he plays a pivotal role in that record, the writing of that record. I mean, if you go down the chat boards across the internet, I think you'd probably find a lot of people who are Panic was never the same after Ryan Ross left the band.
It's just been a rotating cast of people.
Of hooligans.
Other than Brendan Urie, who's been the only one.
Yeah.
My guess is that it's just going to be Brendan Urie and a band. I don't think Ryan Ross or any of the original members will be there. Maybe some of the other.
I would assume the same. I mean, I think you and I both make the assumption that they're maybe not on the best of terms.
Yeah.
That's
the rumor.
That seems to be the word on the street.
At least Ryan Ross and Brendan Urie. I don't know about the other band members.
Yeah, there's a guy named Spencer. Bunch of people. Yeah, one of my best friends from college grew up with the band, with members of the band. So I learned a lot about them at a young age. But I don't know. I really hope that it's a full lineup, because that would be so epic. Crazier things have happened. I mean, Blink got back together, right?
Yeah, after breaking up twice.
If Mark and Tom can do it,
yeah, it's the reunion tour for Blink and for Panic.
I know, right? That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But that record is iconic, and to see it live with the full band would be amazing. As Brendan Urie, it'd still be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
It would still be cool.
And it looks to me according to this lineup and the poster that they've put out, that Panic at the Disco is the only band next fall, I guess, that's doing an album from front to back. The rest of the bands, it doesn't say that. On this year's poster, it said, the band and the album, and this just shows a bunch of bands. So I'll just mention a couple other artists that are playing next year. The Used will be back.
Ooh.
Hopefully.
Oh.
I mean,
who knows?
I'm sure this was confirmed.
Hey, it's contractual, so.
Yeah. Avril Lavigne will be there.
Your fave?
She's great.
You love her.
She was my second concert of all time. Weezer will be there. All Time Low, Yellow Card.
Who you love.
Who's
Yellow Card?
A lot. Simple Plan will be there again. Taking Back Sunday will be there again.
Oh, there's a lot more back-to-backs than I realized, because Boys Like Girls, unexpectedly are playing back-to-back. But
The Maine, again, they were there this year. We the Kings will be there. I'm not sure if they were there this year or not. The Starting Line, again, because they played that album this year. The Movie Life will be there, who's a band that I really enjoyed.
Never listened to them.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about them and recently remembered again, and I played them on our radio show. Hopefully you enjoyed. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus will be there. Alexis is on Fire will be there.
Alexis on Fire, so good. You never listened to them, did you? That's Dallas Green. A lot of people get Anthony Green and Dallas Green confused. Very different. One's Canadian, one's not Canadian.
Right. I probably know a couple songs, but that's not a band I got super into.
They also, Boiled Frogs is one of my favorite Alexis on Fire songs. Oh. So if you haven't ever listened to Alexis on Fire, and I'm saying it to you, KT, is Boiled Frogs was like my favorite.
Yeah.
And then he's also City in Color, but like his voice is amazing.
Right. Plain White T's will be there. The Offspring.
Hey there, Delilah.
I don't think I said that one yet. Yeah, that's not even all of them.
Yeah, there's like 70 bands.
Yeah.
Like there's no shortage.
Jack's Mannequin.
Ooh, you love piano rock. You love piano rock.
I like Something Corporate and Jack's Mannequin.
I love the Rocket Summer, and you had never listened to the Rocket Summer.
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love the Rocket Summer.
I listened to the Rocket Summer.
They're so good.
Not a ton, but I'm familiar with them. I just like how you... Like, sometimes I'll tell you that I did something one time, and he's like, oh, you do that all the time. Yeah. No, one time.
One time I did that. She's an expert.
I mean, I do. Jack's Mannequin and Something Corporate are great.
Yeah.
Into it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I would... Like,
it's your favorite music.
Outwardly say, piano rock is my thing.
You love some piano rock, but who doesn't?
Who doesn't? The Rocket Summer will be there.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's going to be so good. This is the year of the piano rock.
It's the year of the piano rock. So, yes, well, when we're young.
Guess we'll see. I know they're going to add a day 2.
Yes.
Like, no question.
Probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
Probably by the time we release this episode.
Right? Isn't that the truth? But it's pretty sweet. And it seemed like, this year went off really well.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
A few little things here and there, some merch slip-ups.
Yeah.
A couple bits of drama here and there, but...
Well, of course.
Yeah, pretty epic.
Always going to happen.
And I have to say, like, in the absence of Warped Tour not being around, it's pretty cool that this existed.
Yeah. And weirdly, they both, like, released tickets for next year within, the same period of time.
I don't blame them, though, because, like, if you think about it, it was such a great marketing opportunity. Vans Warped Tour was marketing all over Las Vegas
that's true.
when we were young, like, when everybody was there. So it was, like, the perfect time. Like, it was a captive audience.
Yes. And that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Well.
Should we do Emo Lyric of the Day?
Our favorite segment.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
What do you think? Well, let's just... Emo Lyric of the Day is...
Yeah, what is it, Katie?
A lyric that we choose and a song recommendation because we're building a playlist. It's something that we do on our radio show. And on the radio show, it's a song that we played that day that we choose an Emo Lyric of the Day from. And as we've discussed in the previous episode, it's, shorter is generally better. But
which I don't know how to do.
Nani has a hard time with short lyrics.
Katie always wins this competition.
And Nani is the judge of it, and I always win. So what does that tell you?
I might be self-critical.
Maybe. Do you want to go first?
No, why don't you go first?
Okay. So since Fall Out Boy was a headliner for this year's When We Were Young, I chose a Fall Out Boy lyric. Again, I kind of am choosing like bangers, like well-known popular songs, at least to start. I'm sure longer we get into this podcast, I'll get a little more nuanced, but I just have to start out.
I feel like I went very nuanced and new.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't go old.
Love it. So it's from Fall Out Boy, Sugar We're Going Down. And the lyric is, I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song. Because that is so good.
It is. And when you say it versus hearing it quickly sung in a song, it just lands so differently.
Yeah. I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Drop a...
Let's know more.
That
is really good.
But that's so that's like a dagger to your heart.
It is. There's so many lyrics that I should have chosen the exact lyric before we started the show.
You should have.
Because there's so many from this song that I wanna read, but mine is from a Boys Like Girls song because I just really felt like I needed to honor them for stepping in at the last second.
Love it.
For this year, and then they're playing next year.
Yeah.
And the fact that his voice is, I don't know, just angelic, and I love it. He's just the best. Okay, maybe it'll be I'm going a little weirder on this one.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's gonna land. But it's their song Cry from their most recent record, Live at Foxwood, or like Saturday at Foxwoods or something. It's like, the record's like a year old. The entire record is amazing, but specifically the song Cry, it's a ballad on the record.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I highly recommend that you listen to it. And the line is, go ahead and cry.
All right. You kept it short.
It was really hard for me because there's so many lines in here that I want to pull, but
go ahead and cry.
Just go ahead and cry.
You know, you're just giving all of our emo listeners permission to just let it out.
Just to do what you need to do.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Let those tears out,
Yeah,
man.
just go ahead and cry.
Go ahead and cry.
You're just notching. I'm just a notch in your bedpost, but you're just a line in a song.
Which, you know, that makes me want to cry. Because if I'm just a notch in your bedpost.
Whoa. Weird. No.
No, things got weird there.
Things are not. That's not. No.
I guess I'm just a line in your song, Katie.
We have a whole poem about us. So
we do.
You're more than a line in a song.
I'm just a line in the poem.
Yeah, it's a collaborative poem.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway.
We should read that poem.
We should.
Here.
Yeah.
And we should also tell people about the miscellaneous
Yes.
thing, the whole art project.
We will.
Oh, they're both so epic.
We have so many things to talk about.
So many things to
Speaking
talk
of,
about.
I do want to say this podcast is not going to be just about festivals.
No, it just kind of seems like it is right now.
Yeah.
But these were just like the low-hanging fruit that we really needed to talk about.
Good timing.
Get it out of our system.
Yeah.
And because we're going to be doing interviews and all sorts of really fun stuff.
Yeah, some deep dives,
But-
all kinds of things.
yeah.
All kinds of ideas.
The timely nature of When We Were Young
Yeah.
and Vans Warped Tour, like we couldn't have this podcast without talking about them, and this was the right time to talk about them.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Episode 2
in the bag. When We Were Young Festival, and join us next week for episode 3.
Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. We're trying to build a little community here.
Yes. Follow us on Instagram at the Emo Hour Girls and TikTok at the Emo Hour Girls.
You remember TikTok?
Yes, I always forget TikTok, but yes. Follow us on both. Share our podcast with your friends. Send us DMs if you have photos from this year's When We Were Young Festival or any other year.
Or emo night in
Or
Boise.
emo night in Boise.
Like, please reach out to us. We
Yeah.
love talking to y'all. I don't know. It's really cool to us that like we have made friends with strangers and we're bonding over our mutual love for emo music.
Yes.
It's just the coolest.
Yeah, we've met quite a few people from our radio show first,
Yeah.
and then already from this.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. It just makes you gives you faith in humanity.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me personally, I love it. I love people.
Yes, you do.
I love people a lot.
You do. You were crushing it at emo night too.
Thanks.
With promotion.
I just needed to go and talk to people and meet them.
It was great.
Because we're all there because we love emo
And
music.
you met some fellow goths.
I sure did.
Yes.
I know. It was exciting.
Speaking, fun fact. I just
Fun
have
fact?
to say, we learned that
Oh, yes. We
There's
should
a-
end the show with this for
there's
sure.
a Boise State, which I'm not a fan because I went to a former rivaling college. Now they're like not even in the same ballpark. But
it was a rivalry when you were at college.
yeah, that was kind of the end of it. But there's a Boise State beach volleyball player who's a sophomore, I think, this year, who's a goth.
And it's epic.
And please Google photos.
She is so awesome.
Yeah.
She has hot pink hair.
I think she even said, like, for her team photo, like the professional one, that she, like, toned it down.
No. Yeah. That's so amazing.
Yeah. So Google that because that's pretty awesome. And also, I mean, goths playing sports in general is just funny, like, as an idea. And then beach volleyball seems even, like, one step beyond.
Yeah, because you're used to, like, blonde-haired, tan, like,
Yeah.
But that just goes to show, like, you can't judge a book by its cover, ever.
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
But that is so epic. We are such fans of her.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Oh, we should reach out to her.
Go get them, girl.
Yeah,
like, she's awesome.
She is.
I want to know what her pump-up songs are.
Yes.
Like, they're probably stuff that we don't even know, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably more like metal-y.
Because I don't go too far down the metal.
Yeah.
The metal sphere.
Right.
If it's metal-y, I need, like, some electronic in there. Like, Bring Me the Horizon.
Right.
Who I love.
Yes, you do.
Deep dive on them. We need to do a deep dive on them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks for listening.
Hey, Katie, great job.
Great job.
This is fun.
We did it.
We did it.
Yay.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.